Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Monday night panel. Starting a bit earlier at the moment because we've got a big draw coming up. So we will be on live when the draw is made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the panel on now. So we're all together for the draw. And I think we've got a very special guest as well. So I'm going to bring the panel on first. Hi, Ray.
Good evening, Chris.
Hiya, Vic.
Good evening, Chris. Ray. Hiya.
Hi, Jamie.
Evening, all.
Evening.
Hiya, Rob. And here's our very special guest, Mr. Hat-trick hero himself,
Wow.
Hello, thanks.
Mr. Drynan.
Goodness.
How are you, my dear?
All good, all good.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. So
No problems.
Brilliant.
then,
Well-
Vic, over to you.
Thanks very much indeed, Chris. And Aaron, thank you very much indeed for joining us. An absolute pleasure. And congratulations on that magnificent hat-trick. I've watched that third goal of yours 30 times. Gets better every time. Tell us about how it happened, because the control and then the lob, superb.
Yeah, I said it in an interview afterwards yesterday. Someone asked what was going through my head, and to be honest, I just said nothing really. When you're in, I suppose the role that I'm on at the moment, you're not really thinking, and it was just one of those instinct things where seeing the keeper come off his line quite early, and then obviously the ball just sat up nicely. Great ball from Tommy, and yeah, went in luckily.
Luckily, great finish. Your second goal was very similar to the one you got at Milton Keynes, wasn't it? A corner and then a flicked header, and the ball goes in the far post.
Yeah, that's it's an area that we target quite a bit. Is that sort of like front zone, and obviously both assists have come from Bill, and yeah, we just know the quality that he has from set pieces, and yeah, he just put it right in my head, and again, luckily it went in.
Somebody posed me the question yesterday, and I've been trying to research this. Has any player for Swindon got a hat-trick in 2 cup competitions in one season? And I've been trying to look through the records, and I can't find one. So that might be a real record that you can take away from this. 16 goals in a season before Christmas. That's some going.
Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with it. I've said it numerous times as well. People say a lot, did you imagine it? Obviously, I'd say I always thought I could get off to a good start, but to have 16 by now is pretty special. So main thing now is just remain consistent.
I guess that makes the end of last season even more frustrating, doesn't it, with that injury? Because many have said, and I think it's fair to say, that had you been playing, there would have been a better shot at the playoffs, even though we went close. I mean, how do you view that end of the season last year?
Yeah, possibly. You never really know in terms of like if we would have made the playoffs, etc. But yeah, I felt very good obviously since the manager come in that time. Felt I was getting there, and then obviously that weird injury happened, and then obviously that was that. Then it was really just to focus on getting back fit throughout the summer, and it's just nice to see a lot of hard work pay off.
You got a lot of games coming up, haven't you? So how do you prepare in terms of tactics, etc.? I mean, you've got a Saturday, Tuesday, then you've got a little break before Boxing Day. But how do you get prepared for all those games in a close, short space of time? Of course, you've got 2 big local derbies coming up, which important to other fans as well. So how do you prepare for those?
To be honest, just when the games are thick and fast like this, there's probably not as much time on the grass as usual. A lot of it's obviously video analysis and then kind of just walkthroughs on the pitch rather than going 100 miles an hour, and that's probably it really. The most important thing when you've games Saturday, Tuesdays is just pure recovery, and that's obviously it's a tricky thing to get right.
Obviously, the draw is going to take place very shortly. I think you said on Saturday you didn't normally take notice of the draw; you just waited for the text. But how are you feeling about it? What are your expectations?
Wouldn't say I have any expectations really, but I wouldn't mind playing Liverpool away at Anfield. Being a Liverpool fan, that'd probably be my number one pick if we could get that.
I mean, the atmosphere on Saturday was fabulous, wasn't it? How are the players receiving that? Because it's been said that the county ground's a bit quiet, but that wasn't the case on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday was incredible. I was saying it's probably the best I've heard it for a full 90 minutes since I've joined the club. And then obviously I suppose the fans probably like reflected what we were sort of doing on the pitch, which was literally just non-stop for the full game. But no, it was absolutely incredible, the atmosphere on Saturday, and then I think we're all just kind of in the boat. Like, hopefully that atmosphere can continue for the rest of the season, because no, it really did give us a lift to, I suppose, keep going literally till the end.
It was a fabulous cup tie. I mean, if you were a neutral watching that, you'd be very pleased with the entertainment. How was it? It seemed 100 mile an hour, but quality 100 miles an hour. How did it feel to play in?
Yeah, it was obviously when you win a game 4-0, it's obviously going to be more enjoyable than not. And probably going into the fixture, did we think that the score would end up being what it was? Probably not, just because they've been on such a good run as well. They're doing really good in League One. But that was a really good game to play in. As you said there, for a neutral, it was probably the best game of the weekend, I suppose.
Yeah, tremendous. Anybody else want a question for Aaron? I mean, here he is, Aaron Drinan, top scorer in the country, if I might say so. I think he's got more than Erling Haaland at this stage of the season, which is some going. I saw a stat today. So anybody else want to say a word to Aaron?
Well done is the first thing that obviously springs to mind, Aaron, because we desperately needed it. But it's great when the county ground's rocking, but when you see players react to it in the way that you guys did on Saturday, and you get the same sort of appreciation back, that must be a really special feeling.
100%, like I just said there, it's one where I suppose, for, as I was saying there, for a full 90 minutes, we've probably not experienced, I suppose, that sort of level this year. And as I was saying there, I think you could see that we definitely responded to like the noise, and every time we pressed or play the ball in behind, that we had a chance, that like the crowd was up nearly the whole time. So no, it was really good to see.
And see a young player like Joel McGregor. I mean, that was probably, I would say, one of his best games in a Swindon shirt. I know you rightly got man of the match, but he had a fabulous game, didn't he?
Yeah, so I said post match, obviously when I went up to collect the man of the match, that I probably would have given it to either him or probably one of the midfield three, to be honest, because I just said, I suppose when obviously Joel marked probably their best player out for literally the full game, he didn't give him a sniff. And then I just said, when you have a midfield three like that behind us, the forward players pressing and squeezing up with us, it makes life 10 times easier as forward players. So obviously I could go around the whole team, and everyone was 10 out of 10, I suppose, really, on Saturday. Even like the subs who come on, they played with the same intensity as the ones who come off. So we're looking really good at the minute.
Sorry, Jamie, you were gonna say something.
No, I was going to say, clearly there was a huge amount of work rate that was put in, particularly with it's probably the best I've seen us press and turn the ball over for a long time. How do you go about recovering? Because it's not long before the next game. So how do you go about recovering in that time?
Well, obviously yesterday was a day off, so like personally just try get into the pool and just try get the body moving. I wasn't in the best of state yesterday. And similar enough today. Obviously today we had a light day, train and just kind of, as I said there, walkthroughs of shape and tactics for tomorrow. And then obviously we've another, I suppose, full day until tomorrow night. But yeah, it's kind of just keeping the body ticking over, just ever so slightly. But and then just hope you're right on come kick off.
Well, if the gaffer needs anyone to give him another team talk for tomorrow night, Aaron, I'm more than happy to come and oblige. Me and Charlie, I'm more than happy to give to quite a few words of wisdom for that one.
What about the wind tunnel in the county ground? Because that was in full effect, wasn't it? I mean, does that play a part? I mean, it must be difficult to play against it, but it also gives you a benefit when you're playing with it. How is it playing in that?
Yeah, it definitely can be difficult. I know the manager said they tried to utilise that first half, and obviously we come in 1-0 at the break, and we were quite comfortable with it. And then obviously we knew we had it second half, and I think we used that to our advantage again. But yeah, it can definitely be really tricky, especially like if there's a lot of balls in the air and stuff like that. But I suppose you could say that we coped well with it for the weekend.
And how was it with people on the Stratton Bank as well? Does that make a difference? I know it was the opposition fans, if you like, but seeing all four sides with people in it.
Yeah, I thought actually I quite enjoyed like seeing. I know obviously it wasn't full, but it was quite good sort of seeing the four sides sort of with people in them. I suppose it just makes it a bit more. I suppose a bit more of like an atmosphere, I guess you could say.
Well, we're waiting for the draw to take place. Swinging ball number 48 will be going into those plastic drums in a minute. Obviously, these draws do take a little while. I don't know if anybody watched the World Cup draw on Friday, but I was sort of 65 when it started. I'm 70 now. It was a while. It took a while, didn't it? So, who knows with these draws. Do you just take what it comes? I mean, the point is you want Liverpool away at Anfield in terms of your sort of favouring of Liverpool when you were younger. But home draw against a big team. We had Man City here a few years ago. A home draw would suit.
Yeah, of course. I think everyone dreams of like any big team, home or away, just to sort of get that experience. Obviously, personally, I've never played any Premier League team in the cup competition. So, as I said, it's the cherry on top would obviously be Liverpool away. But if we even got any big team at home, we'd take it as well. Or anyone in fact, really. You know, it's even if you, I suppose, if you could even get slightly favourable draw or whatever, you know, you'd take those as well.
Well, we should say a word for Weston-super-Mare because that's quite a good achievement, isn't it, for a side from that level of the football structure to get to the third round of the FA Cup. I think it's the first time in their history. So the magic of the FA Cup's alive and well, isn't it?
100%. I think I've seen, I don't know, was it the first or second goal, the fellow who caught it on the volley? That was some goal. But yeah, that's what the cup's about.
Absolutely.
I was going to say,
well, go on.
Sorry, Vic, I was just going to say, Aaron, how are the group feeling about the cup games? For us, it's lovely to have a few games piling up. Is it positive for the group in terms of chances for game time?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably the one, I suppose, not obviously getting through the rounds of different cups, but I suppose maybe from, a manager's point of view, I suppose the more games you have, maybe the more you can rotate, and some lads who haven't been playing, they might be able to get in, get some minutes, and I suppose, keep everyone happy, because obviously everyone wants to be playing, but sometimes obviously that's not the reality. But as players, you probably want to play as many games as you can, be in as many competitions as you can, and obviously try go as far as you can in all cup competitions.
Yeah.
Well, you got Luton away in the Virtue Motors Trophy. How do you fancy that one?
Yeah, I think we but based on this season, we've done quite well against League One teams, and I don't see why we can't go there and get through to the next round. It's not far away from Wembley, which obviously we've talked about. It would be nice to get there. So yeah, why can't we go there and win?
Well, some comments are coming in, so I'll read these out whilst we wait for this draw to actually start. Neil says, what a performance from all at STFC Saturday. Awesome goals from Aaron Drinan. What a hat-trick. It was a perfect hat-trick, of course, Aaron, wasn't it? Right foot, left foot header. Have you done many of those?
It's not often you can say you get the perfect one, so I was delighted to get it.
Well, the draw's just about to start. Sean says, brilliant Saturday. Why can't the crowd be like that for league games? Paul says, my voice is still gone. Evening all, what an amazing result on Saturday. And 3 great goals by this fellow on the screen. Same again tomorrow against Cheltenham, please. Our bogey team. Of course, we won there last year for the first time ever, I think, in the league. Wolves are at home. Let's see who they've got. Shrewsbury Town. So you've avoided a trip to Molineux. Liverpool away would be easy the way they're playing, says Paul. I mean,
I'm not so sure.
I mean, you know, they're not on form, but even so, they're a good side, aren't they?
Oh, of course, yeah. They've on paper, they're probably on paper. You could argue and say they probably have the best players in the world there, in my opinion. But obviously, I'm biased. But yeah, it'd be tricky no matter what.
Mr. Salah's had a few words, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about that? Do players? It's Tottenham versus Villa. That's quite a tasty tie. Should players talk like that or not? I mean, I'm not going to put you on the spot too much, but what are your feelings on that?
The way he's obviously come out and said it, I'd probably say no. It's probably, yeah, I think it's a bit crazy, and he's probably just had a bit of red mist, I think, probably from not coming on again. And especially leaving to AFCON soon as well, to leave it on sort of that note. And obviously he's not travelling in the Champions League squad now either, so truthfully, I don't know what will happen with him now, really.
Well, Preston against Wigan is the latest one out, bit of a Lancashire derby. Hi, Aaron, and had the pleasure of meeting you. I think it was your granddad at Rotherham was sat next to me. So that's from Sean as well.
Definitely wasn't my granddad. He's back in Ireland.
Oh,
so
right.
Maybe someone's saying it.
So how are you going to get on at Christmas? You don't get much time off, to be honest, do you?
No, not at Christmas time. My family will come over just before Christmas for a couple of days and then head back away. Yeah, there's just too many games and trainings and stuff to try pop home.
Wrexham have a home tie. Let's see who comes out after that. And it's Nottingham Forest. So that's a tasty one for Wrexham. Wrexham versus Nottingham Forest. We still wait for ball number 48 to come out of this eternal drum. There's a lot of balls in there. How do you feel about the tension as it mounts up? You just want it to get out and you know you're playing.
Yeah, 100%. It's you always just want your team to come out early and see who we get.
Well, Charlton Athletic against Chelsea, London derby, and of course we send our very best wishes to the family of the Charlton fan who passed away on Saturday. Awful event, so we send them all our very best wishes. Can Aaron explain what, if any, changes he's made to training, etc., to support his development this season? That's from Mark. Exeter have got a tasty one. Man City away. That's a tasty one for them.
They had to be chasing the ball a lot there, I reckon. Yeah, back to your question. Not really. I can't really pinpoint anything. I've always trying to be quite professional in what I do in terms of, recovery, off the pitch stuff. I suppose the extras at training. Maybe a shift in mindset, maybe that I can do it, and that's probably the main thing, I guess, really.
How important is confidence? Because you must be sky high at the minute.
Yeah, massively important. I think most people would know that football is probably a confidence game. Like when you're confident, you probably might take on, shots, finishes more than say when you're not. You might not take them on as such then, but as I said quite a few times, just getting off the mark early in a season, I think just helps massively, and then I suppose I'll just build from there, really.
But of course, then you're a marked man by opposition defences, aren't you? So you got to cope with that.
Yeah, that's part and parcel of football, I guess. That's probably the reality of it.
Well, Sunderland will be away at Everton. That's the latest one. Neil says, I think it's a lot to do with fans' expectations. They see a fixture and go, oh, that team's smaller club than Swindon Town, so we should win by 10. In reality, this does not work like that, and then fans are left disappointed. Liverpool are at home, Aaron. Mm-hmm. So here we go. They've got Barnsley, so you've missed out on Anfield. Sorry about that. Never mind. Next round. Get them in the fourth. Yeah. Hence, less noise from fans. Just my thoughts. Could be off the mark. Who knows? Burnley are at home. So Premier League Burnley. And we still wait for Swindon number 48 to come out. They're at home to Millwall. You haven't got anything important to do this evening, have you, Aaron? This could take a while.
No. I'll just put the dinner on hold for a while.
Oh dear. Well, Norwich City are at home. We played them in the FA Cup a few years ago. Drew at home and then won at Carrow Road, I seem to remember, by a couple of goals. They got Walsall. So it won't be Walsall against Swindon in the next round. And Portsmouth have come out first. Obviously, it's tight at the top, isn't it? Just a point between you and Walsall. Lots to play for. How do you feel at the minute with the league?
Yeah, really good. I think we're in a good position. Obviously, there's a couple of games where we wish we did pick up full points, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. But now we're still in a great place, especially at 1 point. Still early days. I think you'll know a lot more just once that Christmas period is out of the way. Start of January when the leagues take shape. But yeah, the way we're feeling at the minute, we feel like we could take on anyone home or away, really.
Of course, January's a big month, isn't it? With the likes of Finley Monroe, obviously playing really, really well.
Yeah.
We don't know what his situation will be. How unsettling is that for the team, or do you just get on with it?
No, as players, you have to get on with it. But obviously, as with any loan player, they can go back.
We're away at Salford, Aaron. How about that?
Massive difference to Liverpool, I suppose.
Well, you were up there, of course, earlier in the season, got beat on a swamp, basically. What are your feelings about it?
Probably would have been nice to get maybe not a League Two team, but again, as soon as you said Salford, it's probably I'll just see it maybe as a winnable tie.
Well, Aaron, thank you very much for your time and thank you for hanging on. As I say,
No
we were just waiting for the Peace Prize to come in and President Trump to appear before the draw concluded. But we appreciate your time and all the very best for tomorrow night. It's a big local derby for us, of course, the fans against Cheltenham. We haven't got a great record against them in the past, but 3 points would do very nicely. Thank you very much indeed. You've got the enticing tie of Salford away. How about that?
Lovely. Cheers. Nice one.
All the best, Aaron.
Cheers, guys. Nice one.
Cheers, Aaron.
Cheers.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Well then, that's a bit of an anticlimax, isn't it?
It's always going to be like that, isn't it? It's all, you're expecting Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham, Everton, all that way. And then you get Salford. Great.
It is what it is. But as Aaron said, it is. We've got a chance of going into the next round. So that's look at the positives of it. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
And all that game
twice in 2 weeks then. That's playing twice in 2 weeks. They're down at the county ground.
Oh gosh, fab.
Accrington all over again, isn't it?
At least there's not a lot of chance of that being on TV, is it? It's not exactly a TV bang.
We know it's 3 o'clock on the Saturday, I think. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, I will let you get on with the panel for tonight, and then we can come back on and do some news and things a bit later. Okay, I'll speak to you later.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks to Aaron for joining us. Obviously, the night before a game, it's not always ideal, is it? But we appreciate his time, and thanks to Callum for setting that up. Paul says people were asking for a Manchester club. Unfortunately, it's Salford.
Salford are not in Manchester, by the way.
No, it's a separate place, but I know what he means.
Yeah, so do I.
Lots of comments. So thank you. Daz says, cracking result Saturday. The whole team were at 100%. The county ground was rocking, just like the good old days. SM1, long way it continue. Right.
Can I just say, it's not only us who've got a horrid draw. Western-super-Mare, God bless them. Grimsby away. Thanks very much.
Oh dear. And I think it was Boreham Wood have got another. They've got a non-league.
Brackley, if they get through,
Yeah, brilliant. But Exeter City, who need the money at the minute, Man City away, good for them. So they'll be delighted with that, I'm sure. That point I made to Aaron just now, he is the leading goal scorer. He's got one more than Erling Haaland, which is fantastic, isn't it, Ray?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And it's well earned as well, and that he puts so much effort in consistently, game on game. So he really deserves all the luck he gets. But he's in a great run of form, and long may it continue.
Paul says means we will struggle for tickets.
Yeah.
How many do you reckon we'll take, Rob, to Salford?
Oh, we'll have plenty of tickets. I mean, they won't. They barely fill one stand most of the time. The Salford fans, they can give us 3 sides.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they have to give us more for the FA Cup, don't they?
Yeah, and they'll have to give us the whole of the back of the end behind the goal and a little bit down the side. So
yeah,
I think we'll get 1,500 to 2,000, which will probably be enough.
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure we'll take that many, to be honest. It's not the glamour tie, is it?
No.
Unfortunately.
no, but hey, it never is generally, is it? I mean, I had my money on. Well, I didn't put any money on it, but I was thinking Coventry City for some reason. They just got an away tie, I think. But there we are. That's the draw for the third round. Salford away, Luton away in the Virtue Motors. You could see there was an explanation of air when that happened, wasn't there? Sort of.
Always away, aren't we? We never get that nice home draw when you need it. I suppose you can argue we did get it Saturday, but
yeah, Salford at home would have been good, wouldn't it? But hey, it wasn't to be. So let's go through Saturday then. Swindon Town 4, Bolton 0. Who saw that coming? Aaron Drinan, a hat trick, right foot, left foot header. 8 minutes of penalty, 76 minutes and 86 minutes. The assists, and Joe Snowden, of course, we mustn't forget that fabulous shot into the far post. The assists, Gavin Kilkenny on 55, Billy Bowden with that corner on 76. The formation was 3-5-2, Ripley and goal, who was excellent. Wright, who went off at half-time, James Ball came on to replace him. Felipe Mabete, who was excellent as well. Knight, LaBelle, McGregor, Kilkenny, Clark, Nichols and Snowden. Clark got a yellow on 49. And then up front, Bowden, who was replaced by Abechaman on 88. And then Drinan, who was replaced by Jake Tabor on 88, obviously to get the applause of the crowd, which he quite rightly did. Lee Swaby was the referee. The assistants, Joseph Larkin and Darren Wilding. The fourth official was Stephen Hughes. Rob, can I talk about the referee? Because I thought he was really good. He kept that game going, let stuff go. I thought it was a rumbustious cup tie.
yeah, I mean, a referee always who wants to play the advantage always helps a game of football. It doesn't matter in what competition, does it? If you want to just blow your whistle every 5 seconds, irrespective of what the game's like, it tends to be bitty and you don't get that continuity in the fluid football. He let a few challenges go. He was quite content to not blow his whistle every time somebody went down. And it's exactly what you need to get the ingredients of a good game of football. And let's be fair, both sets of players. I know Bolton got well and truly hammered in the end, but they wanted to come out and play some football as well. And had they taken their chances first half, potentially we could be talking a different story now. But there was that. I think that's the beauty of Saturday's performance, to be honest, because it wasn't just the fact that the referee let the game flow. Swindon played really well. Bolton played okay in stages as well. They played some good stuff. And it was a decent game of football in front of a very big crowd. That's always the downfall it tends to be when they come to the county ground. Whenever Swindon get a big crowd, it's a case of after the Lord Mayor's show, isn't it? But it wasn't this weekend. Hopefully they'll all come flying back for the local derby tomorrow night.
Jamie, I sort of likened it to when we played Huddersfield a few years back under Di Canio. It was a relentless performance. We hit 4 that day against a League One side. And we should mention Conor Ripley, of course, who made a couple of really, really good saves, didn't he?
Oh, there was one superb save in the second half, wasn't there? That was certainly heading into the top corner or nearest Amit. And actually, I thought he really helped out at corners and crossing as well. I think he had a really good game. But I think it was, as I said earlier, I think it was probably one of our best pressing games that I've seen in a long time, where it seemed like it was a team performance in terms of the way that we were pressing rather than individuals. And I think that, for me, is really encouraging. But the one downside of that is the amount of effort that was put in. But I think using the squad the way we did and the substitutions, we managed to keep that effort going through the entire game. And I think that was what was really impressive, because I think if we'd given Bolton the ball and let them dominate the ball, I think we would have had a very different game. And actually, it almost felt a bit like they were really surprised by quite how biting we were and how front foot we were, I think.
Yeah, very good indeed. Let's have a look. Oh, John. Hello, John. I am going to read it out this week because I can see it. Love the way that our old friends from Bristol City were listed as Bristol on the FA Cup draw. Oh, I didn't see that.
I did.
Oh, so well done. I can't remember who they got now. Anyway, never mind. Who cares? Hello, Mr. Garrett. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Sorry I'm late. Systems issues, I'm afraid. So I've managed to get on now. Had a new router.
You missed Mr. Drynan, but there we go. That's your problem, isn't it? Not ours. And nice to see you've decorated and put shirts up. It's very pleasant. I'm sure Mr. Stevens will be very happy, won't you, John? Hi, Mark. Shame about the FA Cup draw, though it at least will keep the players' feet on the ground. Definitely winnable. Andy, what's your reaction to that? Salford away.
I've only just this second seen who we've got because I just caught the tail end of it. So, yeah, it's not a very inspiring draw, is it? But as you say, good chance to get through to the next round. Very winnable. Yeah, and it keeps everyone's feet very much on the ground. So let's see if we can do it and get into the fourth round.
What about Saturday then? What were your thoughts on that?
Absolutely fantastic performance. You know, we said after the game that I don't think there was anybody who you could honestly say had a bad day. You know, even with Bowden's misses, he still had a reasonably good game, I thought. McGregor, fantastic. Kilkenny, fantastic. Knight LaBelle. You could just go on and name the whole team, couldn't you? And it was just a really, really good, positive all-round performance.
What about that midfield, Ray, on Saturday? I thought that's probably one of the best midfield displays I've seen in a long, long time. Clark was dominant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was absolutely. Oh, yeah, all three of them were brilliant on Saturday. Yeah, Clark really kind of set the tone. He really pushed on. He sort of controlled the sort of thrust in there, really. But Tom Nichols, to me, he's a forward-thinking player. That's where his career's been. He looks terrific, like playing deeper and winning the ball back and then using the ball. I thought he was absolutely outstanding on Saturday.
And, yeah, we should say about Joe Snowden, of course, who gets better every time you see him play, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. In and around the box, Joe Snowden's excellent, whether it's like finishing or crossing. He really, really has got, you know, a good touch.
Jamie, there was one tackle by Ollie Clark in front of us. I don't know if it's not far from where you are, but it was a magnificent tackle, and it was the sort of thing that gets everybody up off their seat. You have sliding tackle, ball into touch. There you go. Thanks very much.
You do need that, don't you? And that's part of getting the crowd in the game. But it was that kind of conditions, wasn't it, where you could have a bit of a kind of slide tackle or tough tackle. But I agree. I've been a little bit critical of some of Clark's performances, but I thought he was excellent, and I think that was a proper captain's display, which galvanised the people around him. But and that's what I like. I like that several players we've got this season are not afraid to tackle. And I think Nichols is, I agree with that, considering he was a player that we were told when he first arrived could barely tackle. And I think he'd be well up there with the division's most tackles, I think, along with Clark. But if Clark can carry on like that, I think that's the player we thought we were signing. And I think maybe a part of it is he looks like, touch wood, if he's got over some of his injuries, actually a good run in the team where he could really get hold of it. This kind of Christmas period, or when the weather's slightly worse and you really need players to really dig in, he's that kind of player for me.
Yeah, I think, Rob, when we first signed him, we were very excited about it. Didn't see the best of him, did we? But I think, boy, oh boy, we're seeing the best of him now.
Yeah, but he's been a victim of circumstance, I suppose, and his flexibility has allowed him to go into that central defensive role. And whilst he's done it on occasions to a great extent, it does take away from the fact that his career has been as a central midfielder, hasn't it? So you haven't seen necessarily the box-to-box player that we were sold when he signed for us in the first place. And I think Saturday was the perfect example of that's how Ollie Clark can play. Now it's a question of, can we keep him in that role and play like that every week? Or again, does he have to revert back to a position on one side of the three at the back because of injuries, suspensions, whatever it might be? So, yeah, it's great to have that versatility, isn't it, in your armoury, but it does sometimes come back and bite you on the backside because it means you cannot play your preferred position. And again, we've seen a few examples of that, haven't we? And Joe Snowden's been mentioned as he had to play onto right wing back, which obviously he's not a defensive-minded wing-back, and as we've rightly seen in the last couple of games, when he's had that little bit more protection behind him and he can get into more advanced positions, look at what he's achieving at the other end of the pitch. So many assists from both sides of the pitch now, Finley Munro when he's there and from Joe Snowden as well. suddenly we seem like we can attack down both flanks as well as down the middle. And that is what you need if you're going to be a successful side. You've got to have options all around the pitch, and you've got to be able to score goals from all around the pitch. So Aaron Drinnen getting 16 goals before Christmas is absolutely fantastic. Of course it is, but we need everyone else to chip in as well. So the sooner that we get more and more players on that score sheet, the better our chances of finding our way out of this division.
Yeah, one player who desperately needs one, Andy, is Billy Bowden, isn't it? I mean, you could see. I mean, we all watched that miss, and we can't explain it. I mean, he just sort of screwed it wide, didn't he? Got it. He didn't quite control it.
No,
Lost his bearings, put it wide.
Yeah, as you say, it almost looked as though he just didn't know where he was. Because he just seemed to turn around and just hit it in a direction away from the goal. He, as I say, it just seemed like he wasn't sure where he was and just completely and utterly, screwed it.
And then he had another one as well, which he put over the bar. That was a more difficult chance because he had a defender with him.
Yeah, it was more difficult, that one. And, you can't really blame him. You would like to think a striker of his ability would have put that one away as well. But, I suppose they're only human, aren't they? So, it's one of them things.
Hi, Nick. Was a great birthday. Happy birthday to you, Nick, on Saturday, beating Bolton and then watching Bolton boy Peter Kay in the evening. The one upside of the draw is the fourth round. Could be very interesting. Hang on, we have got to get through the third round first. Let's just be Salford away, if you haven't heard. That was drawn out a little earlier, much to the sort of of everybody. So Salford away will be playing in the third round. I think that's the January the 10th that weekend. We're pretty sure it'll be on the Saturday. So I'm not sure which game we've got on that Saturday.
It's supposed to be Newport on the Friday night, wouldn't it?
Oh, Newport on the Friday night. That's right. So it's an early start on the Saturday morning. Hi, Stuart. Winnable all day with the performance we put in on Saturday. Hi, Daz. The only player to score back-to-back hat-tricks for the Swindon Town men's team is club legend Harry Morris, but not cup matches. And I think that's the point. We're trying to work out if any Swindon player has got a hat-trick in one season in two different cup competitions. Martin Smithers posed that question yesterday, and if anybody knows the answer to that, let us know. I mean, it's a really pretty good thing to do. Let's have a look at the stats. Swindon 11, Bolton 8. On target, Swindon 7, Bolton 4. Save Swindon 4, Bolton 3. Corner Swindon 4, Bolton 4. And the offside, Swindon 2, Bolton 1. And only 2 yellow cards, 1 apiece, 1 to Ollie Clark. Connor Ripley, Ray. Now, there was one that hit the bar, but there was a magnificent save which he tipped over, and he made saves at a crucial time.
Yeah, he did. I thought he had probably his best game of the season, didn't he, on Saturday? He looked really sharp. And it's, again, you go back to our squad, which is, I mean, the more I think about it, I can't remember us having a squad. Certainly not, for the level we're at, we've never had a squad like this, I don't think, where you can actually rotate and still feel like you've got a strong side out. And that's been, in the goalkeeping position this week, that's been evident. Lewis Ward had a decent game against Deember. You bring Ripley back in, and he has his best game of the season. So that competition for places is right across the side, which is fantastic for us, really. And I thought Ripley was brilliant. And I think he is a Bolton guy as well. He
lives in Bolton. Yeah, he was saying that when he was with us the other week. Yeah. So he would have enjoyed that, I'm sure, on Saturday. But that one that hit the bar, that was some shot. I must admit, it was doing that for a little while, I'm sure. Now then, let's 2 cup wins in a week, Jamie. We're not used to this. I mean, as I say, we got Luton away in the round of the 16 in the Virtue Motors, down in the third round of the FA Cup. Goodness me, what's going on?
Well, we've already written off our normal Christmas shopping day, and now we've got a normal January day that we don't really know what cup runs are like lately, do we? Us older people, I guess, know what cup runs are about, but actually the younger fans amongst us haven't really seen us. When was the last time we were in the fourth round, if we went through to that?
Leicester,
right?
Yeah, after we beat them. Yeah,
good few years ago. So I think the thing that struck me as well was it going through that round was 80 grand, wasn't it? I think we got for that. So actually, I'm assuming it's slightly more for the next round. So that come January, that could be quite important as well. I get exactly what Aaron was talking about in terms of it's good for momentum, it's good for the team, but it's also good for the coffers if we haven't budgeted for it. But it would be nice to get another Man City at some point. Just from the, we all talk about the memories, don't we? It's the ones that everyone talks about, no matter how long ago it was. Not the Salfords away, unfortunately. But it's another break from the league, isn't it? And as far as I'm concerned, is if we can keep winning and we keep playing well, hopefully we got a load of positive team morale and positive feelings from yesterday, and hopefully we'll take it into tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, January's huge, isn't it, Rob? Because we're approaching it now, and it seemed a long way off. But all of a sudden, Finley Munro, I mean, I don't see any benefit of Villa taking him back. Do you? I mean, he's playing well. He's getting experience. They're flying in the Premier League. The only reason they take him back is to have a look at him, wouldn't it?
There's no benefit at all in taking him back at this stage, in my view. I mean, it would be different if you were talking about a Premier League side that was struggling and potentially he might find his way into their first team. But let's be honest, they're the form team of the division at the moment, so there's no chance of him getting a look in there. He's getting a game every week here. He's not missing out unless he's suspended or injured. So no, there's no benefit at all in taking him away. I was just thinking, we were talking about gate receipts at Salford. We've just been thinking we might get a 6-figure or 7-figure paycheck from a nice cup draw. We're lucky to get a 4-figure paycheck from Salford with their 200 fans.
I suppose comparisons will be drawn with Kane Kessler-Hayden, won't they? I mean, he had that great game against Man City, and then off he went. He disappeared.
Yeah, and it's always the fear, isn't it? That's the problem, because we've seen it before. We've seen it many times when the old phrase of "don't ever fall in love with a lone player," because they might go back before you think about it. But this one feels a little bit different to me. I have to say, he's clearly loving his chance. He's getting it swing. He's loving his football. So he's certainly not going to be pushing to Villa to take him back. I think the only thing potentially we have to worry about is if his contract situation at Villa is that he would be out of contract in the summer, then would they look to cash in on him in the January transfer window because he's had such a good loan spell here? That would be the one area, I guess, that we'd need to be concerned about. But I wouldn't want to be. If I was Villa at this moment in time, I wouldn't want to be cashing in, because I think he's got such great potential that there is real opportunity that he could find his way into a Premier League side in the future. He's not there yet, of course he's not, but we've seen the evidence so far that he is quality at this level. I think he would be quality at the league above, and it won't be too long before he's playing certainly Championship football, I would think.
Isn't it refreshing to actually see a defender that likes to tackle?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you mentioned it earlier, Vic, in terms of the Clark tackle on Saturday. That's what we've been seeing from Finley Munro all season. He's the one who does make challenges. He needs to time them better sometimes, but he's an old school. He's a throwback to an old school wing back in that context, isn't he? He loves a tackle. He would have been in his element on Saturday on a pitch like that. Yeah. He'd have been sliding all over the place.
I just wonder, actually, if, and it's a big if because it's a long way to go, we do manage to get out of this league, whether Villa might think, well, progression, League 2, League 1, would they loan him to us again? I mean, there was that possibility, isn't there?
I think so. I mean, again, you don't know what's in their minds, and that's the only thing, always the uncertainty. I mean, it's a parents' club. They've got the opportunity to do what they desire. So we just have to play by their rules, and I'm sure good old Mr. Holloway is making sure that he's making representations to Villa already in terms of making sure he stays here this season. But I think they would be it would be absolute madness if they were to then take him back, loan him somewhere else, and he doesn't play every week. We've seen that happen before to players that have gone back, not only from us, but I think of Walsall's situation last season when they had Nathan Lowe up front in the first half of the season, went back to Stoke, sat on their bench for the second half of the season. Walsall ended up capitulating and missing out on the on automatic promotion from being 14 points clear. So there's current examples. There's examples all around the leagues of players who have had such a fantastic first half to the season, and it all goes pear-shaped when somebody makes a decision out of their control. Let's just hope that doesn't happen to Finley Munro.
Kevin says Ripley kept us in the game, and says something I like to ask. Do you think the Salford pitch will be a problem. It looked a mess on Saturday, and it was a mess. Well, because it was, let's be fair to them, when we played there in the league, it was horrendous. But, you know, it was rain that you generally don't get, except we're getting it overnight, apparently. But the pitch, do you think it'll be a problem?
It could be. It could be, you know, especially in January, bad weather comes in. You just don't, the pitch could be a problem. The way that we pass around, the way that we play. But I'd like to think we could overcome that. You know, we lost up there, didn't we, in the league earlier in the season, and should have possibly got a result out of that. So I think it's still very winnable, very winnable.
Malcolm says, back to that diabolical apology for a football ground. No proper toilets, no decent food, and a complete shambles of a stadium and a pudding pitch. Apart from that, Malcolm quite likes it there. Hi, Nicky. Evening, fellas. A decent draw. Ollie has a decision to make regarding keeper for the Salford game. Do we play Ward, who was unreal last week, or Ripley, who again was unreal at the weekend? And Andy, that goes back to the point we were just making about the two goalkeepers. Blimey. I thought Ward, that was one of his best games for Swindon against Peterborough. It was excellent.
It was.
Yeah. So there we are, two good keepers at the minute.
Exactly. We've got two good keepers. You know, Ripley, I can't imagine he'd drop Ripley, to be honest. I'd play Ripley in the cup. But then you've got a backup keeper now that you know that you can bring in. You've not got to go looking to bring in an emergency loan, have you, or something like we've had to do in the past. So, yeah, it's good to have two good keepers.
Hi, Lena. Would we make enough money from the FA Cup to make a bid for Munro, Ray?
Not from Salford, I'm guessing.
No.
we might get his right foot or something for that. Yeah, I'm not sure on the prize money structure, actually, but obviously there's going to be nothing in the game.
No. But it does mean that I suppose we're in the same league. We've got a winnable chance up there. So there we are. What about the goalkeeping situation, Ray? It's been a long time since we've had two keepers who, you know, are vying for that number one position, if you like. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's really healthy. And it's just indicative of the whole bench. You look at it, you know, the side came out for Tuesday night against Peterborough, and we're not quite sure how he's going to play it. But you look at it and you think that's a strong side. Then you look at there's still a bench. And it is the case that they can all come on, can all contribute, and you're not worried about it. You're not worried about your goalie. You're not worried about any of your positions really, because there's somebody that can come on and do a job. And so I'm really chuffed with the general position, but the goalkeeper one definitely.
Hi, Daz. Wembley's pitch in 1969 looked better than Salford's at the weekend. Goodness me. Yeah, we do play Salford twice in a couple of weeks, don't we? We've got them at home, and then underway in the FA Cup. So a bit like Accrington last year, only we went twice to Accrington in the space of 2 weeks.
I think it's the week after, Vic, isn't it? Is it the 17th? We've got Salford at home.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and actually, Andy, it might be a very special occasion. Can you tell us why?
The Salford game, is our Gowan weekend. So we're having we're bringing the Gowan community. We've been doing a lot with them, and that match will be the match where, you know, we're trying to get as many of them in and many of them involved and watching Swindon Town. So yes, it should be a good one.
Good chance to have more Goans than Salford fans in the ground that day.
Probably will.
Probably will. Yeah.
It's the largest Goan community in Western Europe. Is that right?
It's the largest Goan community outside of Goa, basically. Yeah. So why all the Goans decided to come to Swindon, I'm not sure, but there we are. But yeah, we're doing a great deal of work with them, and we're trying to do some work with the kids as well. And the club, we joined up with the club to do that. So all looking good. And a lot of the Goan community living in and around the county ground. Well, not in the county ground, obviously, but around the county ground.
Most of us live in the county ground, to be fair, Andy.
True enough.
Seems to have spent an awful lot of time there recently. And by the way, thank you to everybody who turned up last Wednesday night for the reunion of the 2019-2020 season. Such a shame we couldn't celebrate it at the time, but it was a wonderful evening, and thank you very much indeed for Richie Wellens and all the players who came, because it was great. And thank you. It was packed, so we had a lovely time. So thank you very much, Dee, for that. Right, Colin says 120,000 for the winners of the tie, and the prize money for the fourth round is 127,000. Says Nikki. So, boy, that's a lot of money, that, Ray, isn't it?
Yeah, I might have to revise the number of feet we could afford. Yeah, no, it is, but yeah, certainly in our position, obviously, it would be tremendously welcome. That's the bit Aaron did confirm that the players will probably want it because it's game time. But Rob said, I think that we do need the money as well. Yeah.
Right. Surely Monroe would want to stay, says Mark, if you're going to get promoted and get a league medal underneath his belt. Will Monroe want to stay and get a promotion on his CV, says Ian. I guess that's oh, hang on. Yeah, 121,000, says Chris. It's from Mark Evans. Prize money 121,000 if you win. Source the Football Association, and you would hope they know. That's very true, isn't it, Jamie? Promotion on your CV as a player is a big deal.
Of course, because you never know where your career is going to go, do you? We've had plenty of youngsters who look like they were going to be the next Premier League player that never really progressed or got any further. I'm not saying that's Finlay, but as an individual, particularly at that age, of course you want something under your belt. Question is how much it's his say. I think particularly at these Premier League academies or teams, but I would have thought he would be trying to advocate for staying as part of a winning team. Because would you prefer to be a championship team at the top of the league, or potentially go up to the next level but mid-table or slightly lower down and as part of your progression? I think you want to stay part of a group that he clearly loves to be part of, if at all possible.
I don't know what sort of value to put on a player like that. I mean, in today's crazy money, I don't know. What would you think, Jamie? I had no idea.
There's been some stupid money for people that have never even played first team or Premier League 2 in the close season. But is it? I think it's one of those speculations. Who knows? It depends what his contract situation. I wasn't sure whether he signed a new contract before he came to us.
Hope so.
I seem to remember there was something that it might have been, or whether that was someone else. But nowadays, it's pretty rare for them to go out on loan when they're in like the final year of contract in case they do well. So I would assume he's there at least an option for him or something. But hopefully they're not looking to trade in. They're, as a club, surely Villa are looking to develop people, and hopefully that's why people are sending players to us and under Holloway. Because if you send them back a better player, worth a lot more at the end of the season, then I think they're better off looking at their options in the close season when they've had a 50 or 40 odd game, 50 games, and they've won a championship medal.
Yeah, well, let's hope he does. Can I mention two players to you, Rob? Jamie Knight-Labelle and Felipe Mabete, Big Phil. I don't know about you, but he looks cracking. And Knight-Labelle in the last 2 or 3 weeks looks a player, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Big Phil first. I don't know where he's been for the last 3 weeks, and it's just been a mystery to me, I have to say, because every time he steps on that pitch, he's exactly what you want to see as a centre-back. There's no doubt whatsoever that he's still raw, he's still learning the game. He needs probably a season to really develop that physical mentality that you've got to have as a League Two player. But what a start he's made when he comes on. He just looks the business. And you think to yourself, he suddenly drops out of the squad for 3 weeks and they've got no idea why. I hope he had an injury. I hope there's nothing more to it than that. And we just haven't heard why. But I mean, he's almost the first name on the team sheet for me for tomorrow night. I have to say, he'd be right up there straight away because...
Well, Wright's got an injury, of course, because so that might make a difference, mightn't it?
Yeah, but you've got to think to yourself, we need him on the pitch. He's one of those players you just need to see more of, and he will get the fans excited, I think, as well because of the type of player he is. But moving on to Jamie Knight-Labelle, revelation is the only word that springs to mind. The first couple of weeks he was here, I don't know whether he was trying to impress too much, whether the instructions that Coach Holloway had given him were not quite the way that he's used to playing. I don't know, but it felt timid. He felt like he was going backwards all the time. He never felt like he had that forward-thinking mentality. The last 3 performances he's put in have been faultless, absolutely faultless, and he's been exceptional. And for me, I know we had a series of discussions about man of the match. For me, he's been man of the match for the last 3 weeks. I think he's been absolutely. He hasn't put a foot wrong, and long may it continue. I know again it's another lone player, But I would imagine Bristol City aren't at this moment looking to bring him back come January. In which case we could see a real star in the making there as a young lad starting again with games under his belt from last year when he played for Crewe.
Yeah.
He's used to this level. You can see he's adapted to Ian Holloway's style very easily now, and he looks really capable. So real pluses at centre-back, especially bearing in mind the injuries we've had. Tafazoli was the player who was supposed to come in and solidify our defence. He's been injured more often than he's been playing. Will Wright now picked up that back injury on Saturday. Hopefully he's okay for tomorrow. But there's one player, by the way, who wants to go back to Salford and prove a few people wrong after what happened there with that last-minute goal that we gave away. And you look again, Ollie Clark. We mentioned him earlier. He's our another centre-back option. Ryan Delaney doesn't seem to get a look in now. So you are looking for players to step forward. And Knight Labelle and Mabete, I think, were absolutely outstanding, both of them Saturday.
Hi, Mark. Only have to look at Scott Twine at Bristol City on 25,000 a week. Yeah, they are making money in the Championship, aren't they? Hi, Sean. I asked Finn on Saturday if he'd spoken to Villa about them wanting him back. He said he'd had no talks with anyone. Interesting. And Tony says, I bet they have the Salford match on Friday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. And Dad says Munro's cousin is Declan Rice. So he got a good pedigree in that family, haven't they? Some player he is. Bristol City don't need centre-backs. They need strikers.
They can't have Droynan. Hard luck.
No. I don't know if you saw that punch-up after the game on Saturday at Bristol City, but it was a cracker, wasn't it, against Millwall? It seemed to go on forever and ever. Unbelievable. We've got some friends who go to Ashton Gate as City fans, and they were describing it to me. It seemed an absolute crack of an ending to the match. Chris, I don't know if you're there, but should we have a break before we go on to the Cheltenham game and get that news in? Are you there, Chris? Are you listening? Are you with us? Clearly not. Oh, hang on. There's a bit of noise in the background. What's going on? Is Chris there?
There she goes.
Yes, she is. Oh no!
In between.
You interrupted her tea fit. Come on.
Sorry about that. Well, I tell you what. I'll do the. Shall I do the SAS first, and then you can do the other stuff after you've finished your tea? So I'll do.
Yeah, that's actually fine.
Yeah, I'll do SAS now. Rovers and Harrogate both sold out. Of course, we've got Bristol Rovers Saturday. Only 5 seats left on a second coach for Milton Keynes. Have another week or so to book a third coach. So need to get people to get in touch quickly. Members £20, non-members £22. Departing West Swindon 10:30 a.m. and the Nigel Eady County Ground at 11 a.m. Still seats available for Cheltenham on the 29th. Departs West Swindon at 4:30. The Nigel Eady County Ground at 5 p.m. Members £15, non-members £17. And Laura said at the bottom, pray for a home draw tonight, please. Sorry about that, Laura. Oh dear. Salford away. Anyway, there we go. That's the SAS news. And we should make the point that if you are looking to book tickets to Cheltenham, A, you should have a match ticket, and B, you should be going both ways. You just can't come back on it. You have to go both ways on SAS travel. The youths on Saturday got a victory. Well done to them. They won 2-1 at Forest Green. An own goal and a goal from Sam Jones secured the victory for Swindon at Forest Green. So that's the youths. What about the women, Chris?
So the women have extended their unbeaten run, which is absolutely fabulous. So they had a 4-2 win at Portishead. So that's Lacey Liggett, 2 from Annie, as you would expect, and 1 from Sarah King. So fabulous for them. So they're still unbeaten this season.
Yeah, and they're top of their league as well. 30 points from 10 games, obviously maximum. They won every single game, and they're 2 points ahead of Moneyfields, who they beat at the county ground last week, didn't they? So what a season it is for the women. Extraordinary. So there you are, Chris. Do you want to talk about Wednesday and yesterday before you go and have your tea?
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you, as I know Spix mentioned it, thank you for everybody coming last Wednesday. It was a fabulous evening, and we raised lots of money for Prospect. And yesterday, Ray very kindly and very well organised the memorabilia sale. So that was brilliant. Ray, did you want to say something about that?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks to everybody all the sellers that took part and everybody that came along. Again, out of just really a couple of hours, really, we did raise a nice amount of money for the prospect as well. So that was really pleasing.
Have we got a total we can give them,
Yeah.
Chris?
So it was, I won't say exactly because I can't remember and I haven't got it in front of me. It was about £700, wasn't it, Ray? Just under 700?
Just under, yeah.
Is that with the £10 I found on the pavement today? That's
That's an addition.
And also on
Lucky day
Wednesday,
for me.
do we have a rough figure on Wednesday? I think it's pretty good, isn't it, altogether this week?
We did. It's only very roughly, but we made over £500 on the raffle and people who walked in and paid on the door. And with our ticket prices, we are looking about 18 to 1900 from Wednesday night.
Excellent.
So
We of course will publish the figure when we've got it. Chris, you may go and eat your tea now. Off you go.
I just want to mention one other thing. Junior Reds Christmas party. It's on the 18th of December at 4:30. All details are on the website, on the on the Swindon Town website, not ours, and how to book and everything. So it's free for Junior Reds members and £7.50 for non-members, i.e. siblings and things. So please go onto their website, on club website, and book up if you'd like to come to that.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be good. Thanks, Chris, very much indeed.
Bye.
Hiya, this is from Steve. He says, hi, Vic. For me, Joel McGregor was man of the match. He sorted the Bolton winger very well, and there's been lovely stuff on social media about what they found in Joel McGregor's pocket over the course of the weekend. Wallet, keys, you name it. I mean, it was extraordinary. Mark says, well done to Swindon ladies. Absolutely, they're having a fabulous season. Hi, Tony. Hey, Vic. What's happening at Exeter City and the Trust? Well, as I understand it, they've had a cash injection from the sale of Jay Stansfield. It was going to be backloaded, but that's been brought forward from Birmingham and Fulham. So I think that's done them very well. They got a win on Saturday, and they're away at Man City in the next round of the FA Cup. So that's pretty good. Hi, Malcolm. Hi, everyone. Great to see you, Vic, Chris, Ray, and Andy yesterday. And what a performance on Saturday. They all played so well. Also, not a bad chance to reach the fourth round of the FA Cup. Come on, you Reds. And another Mark, can we have a shout out? BMW and Highwood 2 weeks ago raised over £3,100 for Prospect. Great charity. You certainly can, and congratulations on that. Right, Rob. Now then, the Football League. Should we turn our attention to that after the excitement of the FA Cup and that magnificent draw away at Salford in round 3, which we're all really looking forward to. Top of the table, Walsall, of course. They've got 35 points from 18 games. Swindon second, 34 from 18. MK Dons third, 32 from 18. But looking at the bottom of the table, Cheltenham in 22nd with 17 points from 18 games, minus 18 goal difference. Bristol Rovers just above them, 17 points from 18 games, minus 16 goal difference. The bottom two, Harrogate, who we play on the 4th of November, 16 points from 18 games. And then Newport, who we would have played on the weekend of the FA Cup third round, 12 points from 18 games. Lots of games coming up, but realistically, Rob, looking at those, you would expect a team going for promotion to do rather well out of them.
I'm saying absolutely nothing about that because we all know very well that when you start talking up games against teams at the bottom of the table, exactly what happens. So I won't go there. All I will say is that if we put the type of performance in we've put in for the last couple of weeks, we will have no problem against those sort of sides. There will be a different game. Let's be honest. There's Steve Cottrell in charge of Cheltenham these days. There's no way they're going to start playing balls from the back and trying to allow us to come onto them and press. They'll be a lot more forceful. There'll be a lot more tackles in midfield than we saw from Bolton. It will be a totally different type of game. They had an immediate surge once he came back to the club, didn't they? And they looked like they were going to pull themselves away quite easily, but they just had a couple of setbacks in the last few weeks. But they got a massive win in the cup in the end on Saturday, didn't they, after being 2-1 down at half time. So the confidence is clearly still there, and they will be a very tricky opponent for us tomorrow night. I'm hoping, for obvious reasons, that we give them an absolute pasting but I will take 1-0 now every day of the week. I do think it will be very tight tomorrow night. I think it'll be a very, very tricky game.
Yeah, Steve Cottrell's got no love for Swindon after his days at Bristol City, has he? I mean,
No.
it's going to be an
no
interesting.
love for him either. So that's
It'll be an interesting
feeling is
encounter
mutual.
on the touchline, won't it? Because they must have come up against each other lots of times, mustn't they? Holloway and Cottrell. So that'll be an interesting exchange, shall we say, tomorrow night. How do you view it, Andy?
As Rob said, you know, it's going to be a totally different game again than it was against Bolton. And it always seems to be that when we come up against teams down the bottom, it's a bit more of a struggle. I don't think it's going to be, I hope it's a 4-0 again, but I can't see it being a 4-0. But as long as we win, that's the main thing. And I think, you know, as Rob said, if we play like we did on Saturday, we'll comfortably win.
Ooh. We can't be doing with this confidence. What's going on? Ray, there are some. I mean, Harrogate is the obviously tricky one. We never do well against Harrogate, do we? Let's be honest. I think we did well up there under Ben Garner, but it's not an easy place to go.
No, it's not, and it's similar to the Cheltenham. Their record against us similar to the Cheltenham situation, isn't it? Really. So no, it's not. It's different, and of course in the middle we got Bristol Rovers as well, haven't we? And
MK Dons. Yeah, we should get that.
Yeah, and you kind of think with Rovers they've been on such a terrible run. Maybe the local derby is the right thing for them as well. That take the mind, they'll just be concentrating on that. So that won't be easy either. And so I expect all of those to be difficult, to be honest. And I don't think we can expect this. You know, we can't expect the sort of swashbuckling performances every week. We're going to have to grind out stuff.
Yeah.
And I think these are the types of games where we are going to have to grind out results.
Obviously, Jamie, on Saturday, that's not dispensing with Cheltenham because we'll talk about it again in a minute. But there is the Holloway factor, isn't there, at Rovers on Saturday? I mean, let's face it, and let's be honest, it is his team. I always remember him saying at one of our events last year, who would have thought I'd have ended up being manager of a team who plays in red? So, but he does have that kind of feel about him, and you know, why not? I mean, Aaron Drynan was saying his boyhood team is Liverpool, so you know they have other sort of leanings. So that will be a big factor Saturday.
Yeah, it's an intriguing one because I'm interested to see what kind of reception he gets and how it goes down. I think Saturday is all about whether we go ahead. Because I think if we can get ahead and we start well, it could get quite toxic. And that could be into our advantage. But if they start well and we don't turn up, which let's face it, we've had a few local derbies where we haven't necessarily turned up physically like we did against Bolton in terms of our attitude towards it, and Rovers get on top, then it could be a really tricky day. But I think it's the same for me. It's the same whether it's tomorrow night or whether it's the weekend or the games coming up. It's about how we approach the games. I think we've seen more than enough with this team. If we approach it right and we're on our game, then I think we will dominate them. My worry is if we end up with our kind of past history of going behind to these teams nearer the bottom, and then they sit back, defend the lead, and we've got to break them down, and that's where we've had a bit of a struggle. But the bit I'm really intrigued about is what team he's going to pick, and whether he sticks with the approach we took more recently, or whether he goes back to Palmer, and whether that's more of an aerial battle or physical battle versus the pressing game, because I don't think we can do the same pressing game with Palmer in the team. So how we approach it could be, but I can get the feeling a couple of these games the midfield might be bypassed entirely, and it ends up in a bit of a hoof it both ends, and we've got to stop ourselves getting down to that level, and hopefully we can get it down and actually play our own game. Yeah,
it's interesting, Rob, isn't it? Tony says, agree, Rob, hard match, just got to be in their face, chase every ball, then could win comfortable. There is strong winds about tomorrow. Hey, when isn't there at the county ground?
Oh, it's
And-
only 28. It's only 28 miles, Vic. 28 miles an hour. That's quite good for us, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you take into account the wind tunnel, that's 68 miles an hour. And it's a lot of rain. I don't know if it had gone through by then.
No, it's raining all day tomorrow. By the looks of it, right up until kickoff.
So how much of a factor will the weather be? Because Gary says, I hope the weather stays away. Big leveler.
Well, first things first, I'd put their fans on the bank tomorrow night. I think that's the right thing to do. Aside from that, I think I think the problem we seem to have a lot of times when we play against teams like this is that they just want to make a mess of the game, don't they? They don't want to come out and play. They just want to make a mess of the game. And when you've got conditions like that, potentially on top of the fact that you've got a team that want to be spoilers, then you've got the ingredients ready for a whole mess of a game rather than the absolute opposite, which is what we saw on Saturday, where we saw two teams who just wanted to go toe for toe, playing proper football. So James is right. If we change our attitude tomorrow night and we change our personnel, nothing against Ollie Palmer, of course not, but we don't play the same brand of football when he's in the team as we do when he's out of the team. He seems to be at the moment the catalyst for us to play too many long balls in a similar way that Harry Smith was at the start of the season. And when he's not there, we have to play a different way and a different style. So it might be that Ollie Palmer is absolutely the right man to be up front tomorrow night, especially in conditions like that. It might well be that it's his game tomorrow. But are we still protecting an injury from him? Because obviously he went off it at Chesterfield. So you certainly don't want to be rushing somebody back in when the team are playing particularly well, like we are at the moment, and risk him doing any more damage, especially with what you've just talked about, a very, very congested fixture list, not only in December now, but January as well, with 2 cup competitions to play in as well. So the last thing we need at the moment is to have a whole series of injuries or suspensions that scupper our chances. And we've not been short on injuries this season, have we? Let's be honest. There's plenty of them around. So Ray mentioned size of the squad and quality of the squad earlier on. It's a damn good job we've got one, because if this had been the last couple of seasons with the number of injuries and suspensions we've had, we would have been down to the bare bones. There's no doubt about that. So it was the right decision to get those extra bodies in, clearly, towards the back end of the window. And it's paid off now when we're going through this run of really Tuesday, Saturday fixtures and really struggling with the bodies in the squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough on fans, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of travelling going on in the next few days with one thing and another. You know, a lot of games over Christmas at a time when, you know, public transport's not great either. So it takes a lot of effort to get to some of these games. So it'll be interesting. We got obviously a home game on the 20th against Crawley. New Year's Day is the little matter of Gillingham at home. And then on the 4th, it's Harrogate away. So there's, you know, difficult old games coming up. I was just thinking, actually, at the beginning of the show, you might have noticed some memories from 1979, because it will be the anniversary this coming week on the 11th of, December. Swindon 4, Arsenal 3. If you've got any memories of that, if you want to send them in the remaining quarter of an hour, it'd be lovely to hear them. What a game that was. One of our greatest county ground matches, without question. So Swindon 4, Arsenal 3, anniversary on the 11th of December. So any memories of that, please send them in and we can read them out. What are your thoughts on the games to come, Andy?
We're playing a lot of teams from around the bottom. I think that's always tough. But then it's tough whoever you play in this league, I think. We got Bristol Rovers on Saturday, then, followed by Crawley. I think it's Crawley at home after that, which again is the Scott Lindsay coming back. So that should
Harry
be
McCurdy, possibly.
And Harry McCurdy, possibly, yeah. So that, they're going to be some tough games. And then you've got a lot of games coming in over Christmas. So it's a tough period, as it is every year. So, we come through Christmas and we're still, second, third, then I'll be happy.
Bowden links up well with Drinaldo, or is that Drinaldo, we should say. Hopefully Munro playing and Clark in midfield. Tyrese Shade has just scored against Brackley. Tyrese Shade, goodness me. He was at Eastleigh, wasn't he? Where did he go after Eastleigh?
So is it Burton now, isn't he?
Oh, it's Burton, yeah. Because they're playing Brackley. That'll be why then. Yes. What about your thoughts then, Ray? I mean, as I said, it's a lot, not only on players and staff, it's on fans as well at an expensive time of year.
Yeah, it is, and that's why it's quite pleasing to see the crowd we got on Saturday, really, as well. Bearing in mind that everything that is and expense this time of year, so that was really pleasing. It is tough on everybody, but I think if you're on a good run, people want to come, don't they? And generally, people will find a way of getting to the games when things are going our way.
Yeah. Hi, Darren. Was it Highbury for the draw? A cold journey home with no windows on the coach. Now, Alan Sunderland on 8 minutes with a penalty, and then Billy Tucker late on with that fabulous header at the clock end, made it one apiece to set up the replay a week later. And for those of you, just for the reference about the coach, we were driving behind the coach, and some people ran out from King's Cross railway station and threw a brick through the window of the Swindon supporters coach. So hence the reference to that. And we saw that happening, which was very unpleasant. I think it happened to us at Plymouth once, Rob, didn't it? Were we on the bus that day?
Yeah, yes, it did.
Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, Jamie, how many points do you reckon over Christmas would be a good return?
Oh, good question. I think stay unbeaten. Is the first and an objective. I think you've got to come away with minimum of 3 victories over 3 out of the 5 over that kind of that period. But why not? Why can't we go and win every game at the moment? The way we're playing, we ought to treat it like that. But realistically, that's not drop points. That's keep clean sheets and then build from there.
It's a fair point, isn't it, Rob? Because we've got Cheltenham tomorrow night, Rovers, and then Crawley. I mean, on paper, as Brian Clough famously said, it's not played on paper. But on paper, there's 3 winnable matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we're talking now, the 8th of December today. By the time we get to the 8th of January, I think we're going to have played 7 more league games or 8 more league games. It's something along those lines. So you can't underestimate the importance of the next 4 weeks. They really, really are crucial to your season. And it really does get to a point where it doesn't matter too much who you're playing, because everybody's tired at that stage when you get midway through the Christmas period. And it's a case of just grinding those results out, trying to get points on the board. And we talk about the games against teams towards the bottom of the table coming up, but we've also got Gillingham and MK Dons to play in that run as well, who are teams who potentially are really targeting us at the moment in our position to try and find themselves back in the top 3. So I think we've got some really awkward games. It's probably the way to put it. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the fact we go to Cheltenham as well. So we've got 2 games against Cheltenham in 3 weeks,
of course,
which will make the return game even more of an issue. I think whatever happens tomorrow night, some team is going to be smarting about that when you play them in the return fixture. So there's so many points up for grabs. 24 points potentially by the time we've finished at Harrogate, that before we play the next cup tie against Salford. So you can't underestimate the importance of this period. The one good thing, I guess, if we can talk about the Salford cup tie again just for a second, the one good thing about getting Salford away is it's not that big draw that the players are going to be really targeting. We're not getting ready to play Man City away or somewhere like that, where I'm not saying they would deliberately shut down, but every player worth their salt would have their eye on playing in that game.
Yeah, of course.
So you're not going to get that with Salford away. Let's be quite honest. We might fancy our chances of getting in the squad for Salford away. It's that much of an attraction. So you haven't got to worry about that too much, which is great when you're in the position that we're in, because we have to focus on league points. This is a lovely distraction at the moment, the FA Cup and the EFL Trophy, but we all know what is the one and only target this season, and that is getting out of this horrible division the right way. So we need no distractions, we need no injuries, we need no suspensions. We need to get out of this division. So these next few games, and starting from tomorrow night, which is so important to us, I think, for our season, we can start with 3 points tomorrow night, then go into another local derby at the weekend and get 3 more. Just think how much that place will be flying when we play Crawley the week later.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, Andy? I was talking about 79-80, of course, those cup runs, semi-final of the League Cup, and obviously the fourth round of the FA Cup against Tottenham. Was it the fourth round?
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. The games mounted up, and in the end, it caught up with them, didn't it? They were a really great side. They were one of the best Swindon sides that never got promoted, and possibly they should have got promotion. Is that going to be a factor?
Well, yeah, that season there was a lot, and you had replays as well back then as well, didn't you? So, there was a lot of games. Then you had the 2 games against Wolves, didn't you, in the semi-final of the League Cup. And it all just got to a point where, it fizzled out. And, I don't think we even just missed out that season. I think we finished a fair way down in the end, didn't we? So, which was a bit of a shame because it looked like it was going to be a great season. I don't think that's going to happen this season. There's not as many games, and I don't think, I think, we've got a good squad. We've got a big squad. I think as long as we don't get too many injuries and suspensions, I think we'll be fine. And let's just hope that, as I said before, if we can be still second or third come the new year, then I'll be more than happy.
I think we all will. This is from Tony. Ray, the club priced it right. What about that? I mean, the town end had a few in there. It was a great crowd. Pricing of tickets, where do you stand on that?
Yeah, well, I'd forgotten about that, actually. That obviously did help the situation with Saturday, and it was a sensible thing to do with the state competition as well. So, club should take some credit for that. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. I was just thinking, actually, on to the last point there, because, Andy just discussing there about, the worry about the number of games and does it impact us. I've been thinking a lot about this, and that's why I asked Aaron the question earlier about how the team are feeling about it. But I did have a quick look back at all of our previous promotion seasons, and most of them have got a cup run in there. So in terms of cup runs impacting our good seasons, generally most of them do have a reasonable cup run. Obviously 68, 69, we won a cup. But even the most recent one, 11-12, we got to the fourth round of the FA Cup and the final of the JPT. So historically, we have had some cup runs in the middle of our good seasons.
Yeah, 68, 69, we got to the third round of the FA Cup. We lost to Southend, I think. Yeah. So we've had a lot of and on pitches that were, let's be kind, less of grass, shall we say? That's fair enough. Right. Hi, Adrian. Think the ref will be vital to be strong, like the Exeter one on Saturday, which we said earlier. I thought he was a really, really good referee on Saturday. Adrian Wilgrave. Hello, Adrian. My dad recorded the game against Arsenal. I played it so many times, and one night the cassette broke. Adrian from Lambourne. Hello, Adrian. Hope you're well. I was in the town then, says James, in the front for the Arsenal game. The best atmosphere ever. Was absolutely buzzing. By the way, I still have a cassette tape of the commentary from the radio that night that my dad's mate recorded. The whole ground singing and old Peter Jones commentating. It was a magnificent night. I mean, I just remember after the second Swindon goal went in, one of the sort of ball people, because he was quite an elderly chap, picked the ball up and kissed it and put it on the corner flag that Alan Mays take the corner. It was a great night. Fantastic. Kevin says, never been so nervous for the end of season for years, Jamie. Interesting.
That's just us supporters having been through it before, knowing that you have these kind of, I was thinking about the other day, you do have some of these where you get ahead in a game like Saturday and you think, actually, do you just want it to end because actually it means we win it? Or do you actually enjoy at what point do you enjoy it? I think part of that is how many times the last few seasons, it doesn't matter how far ahead we were, we always felt like we were going to concede something. Whereas I can remember some of those championship teams or winning teams in the past where you'd get ahead and you think we're never going to lose this now. And I'd just love to be in the next few weeks in that position where we start to look at it and go, you know what, this team, when this team gets ahead, it doesn't give away goals. But the Swindon support in my head says we've had too many years of it being squeaky bum at the end or getting far too close or those last day. How many times we look at it and go, it's not going to be the last day of the season that it gets decided to get into a position or whatever, and you just get that horrible feeling that it always is. So are we going to enjoy the next few months, or are we going to kind of like be nervous throughout all of them? We just want to get out of the division, don't we? And that's why we're nervous.
I guess the when he got the 4th, I think we kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
Were you relaxed then, or you still had that feeling?
I think at that point, I was getting there. But to be fair, I wasn't that nervous until we started conceding all the goals when we were at Atkinson. So on that night, and that probably did me for the rest of my Swindon career.
Yeah, what a great night that was, eh? Oh, we got 2 free hot drinks, if I seem to remember. It's bitterly cold. They gave us some free hot drink. When did you relax, Rob? I think when Drynan got the 4th, I think I probably thought, we should be okay now.
Yeah, it's usually about a minute before the end of stoppage time, and you're 4 clear. You fancy your chances. I'll never forget the family tradition here was that obviously the season that we won 6-4 at Birmingham was the season.
You always mention that game, and
sorry, Victor, but we come from 4-1 down to win 6-4. Of course, at the end of that season was the famous game against Leicester. And it's 3-0 up when Sean Taylor has just scored that wonderful goal, and we're all thinking the job's done. My lovely wife's dad decided to turn around to us both and say, "Remember Birmingham." And 10 minutes later, it's 3 each.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do as a Swindon fan? It really is like that, isn't it? That is it all the time, and it really is. You never can sit on your laurels. You never can rest. It feels like, but I guess we've just gone through it so many times over so many seasons that you just don't take things for granted. And it would be lovely to know that you've got such a solid defence that you're not going to concede any goals once you go in front. But that's just not the way Swindon do things, is it? It's always a roller coaster, and it will be, I'm sure. I get the nerves. I understand exactly what Kev was saying. It's going to be like that potentially as the season goes on. I'm sure we're not going to get games like Saturday very often. If we do, all great. That'd be brilliant. We'd love some more of those games so we just don't have to sit on our hands all the time.
Yeah, I think the day we beat Port Vale 5-0 to win the championship, I kind of relaxed after the 4th. I think we kind of might have won that. But there we go. I remember Brady being magical, says Gary. He was absolutely magnificent that night. He just thought, wow. That was a night when, of course, Arsenal came back, didn't they? I think Swindon were 3-1 up. They got back to 3-3. Brady was absolutely magnificent that night. What a player. And Tony says, I have a gut feeling that Butterworth could be back in training end of February. See, he's not been in the picture, but he's a very important player when he is fit, and let's hope he is fit soon. Mark says, that's the joy of being a Swindon Town fan. It absolutely is. Or is it the dismay? I'm not really sure. Hi, Stephen. A year ago, we were bottom of the league. Where should we be this time next year, Andy?
Hopefully, League One and somewhere around mid-table, hopefully. That would suit me.
Yeah, I'd be happy with
Just
that.
not in League Two.
Anywhere but League Two.
Anywhere but League Two.
Well, above it, obviously, clearly, not below it.
Not below it. No, we don't want to be below it.
No.
It's just horrible, isn't it, this league? It's just the places you go to, going to the likes of Salford, we mention again, and we got to go there twice this season. And Harrogate, is another one. It'd just be nice to go to some different places and some better places. We are traditionally a League One or Level 3 club, aren't we? So
now you say that, but in the last few years we haven't been, have we? That's the problem.
No, we haven't. We've been sort of we've been at the Level 4 for far too long, and we need to get out of it and get back to where we rightly belong, and even higher if we possibly can. Yeah,
but if you said to a lot of the younger fans that we've sort of we're a traditional third division side, they would argue with that. Backgrounds are in. Hi, John. Good backgrounds generally, but Andy's head is obscuring his shirts. And Jamie seems to be in the Cavern Club. Are the Beatles playing in the background, I have to ask? Rob seems to be getting media savvy, so you're getting all right. He's not mentioned you, Ray. I assume you're beyond criticism. So no
news is good news, Vic.
I think you're absolutely right. So there we are.
Ray's in his studio.
Yeah.
Now, Alan Mays'
we shouldn't forget. In all seriousness, we shouldn't forget. A year ago, we were at Colchester.
Yeah, we were.
No, what a year has happened since. I think it's really easy to get excited about where we are now, but short memories and all that. But that's all. Remember where we were leaving that ground on that journey back that night, and that was only a year ago.
Well, you say that, Jamie, but somebody pointed out to me on the way up to Rotherham, we've scored 100 goals since Colchester. Imagine that. Imagine being in that position when we were at Colchester. We've scored 100 goals since then. We've obviously got more since then. So
I just remember after I'd left the bus in Swindon, driving home on my own, and the language was pretty bad. That's all I could say.
Guilty.
Especially when there were M5 road closures that night, which was perfect end to a perfect day. And Stephen's made that point. A year ago, we were bottom of the league. I just read that out. Of course I did. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. It's been illuminating and a long one, but well worth doing. Thank you to Aaron Drynan for joining us to talk about his hat-trick on Saturday. I think Fools Rush In are in at 9 o'clock again, so you've got plenty more football content to come later on. Adrian says, Bradford are flying with virtually the same side. We can follow second in the League One next season this time. And I've been told we have a 5-year plan for the Championship. Still waiting 15 years on. Yes, Kevin, we all remember that. There we are, Chris. Good one. Long one, but Salford away. What's not to like?
Yay! Great. We'll be to the ground. We won't be allowed in until the sort of last minute, and it'll be raining. But Mr. Beckham might be there, so can't all be bad, can it? No.
Well, by the way, congratulations to him. They just won the MLS Cup, haven't they? So well done to Inter Miami.
Well, there you go.
Is he watching?
What?
Is he watching?
Yeah, David. He often watches.
He always
watches every week.
Okay.
He watches every week. Yeah.
Thank you very much, panel. Thank you very much for everybody for watching. We will be back next Monday. Until then, we will see you at Crystal Rovers on Saturday or Cheltenham tomorrow evening. So take care, everybody, and goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.